Welcome to Talkin' Mischief. Whether you're here for the hustle, the healing, or one of those holy hell same moments, you're in the right place. So let's get loud, let's get weird, and let's get into some mischief, y'all. We're back with another episode of Talkin' Mischief. And I know I've released one episode where I didn't have a visual because I just felt like I needed to talk to you guys. More so of like a mental health check-in kind of thing. Well, that's kind of what I'm here for today. So the month of October is a lot of different things. And let me just start by saying trigger warning. Because the whole reason why I created this platform and created any of the other platforms that I've had is because I wanted to be able to tell my story and have others be able to tell their story. If you haven't already, my old podcast is Women with an Effed Up Mind, and it gave a safe place for women and men to basically tell their story of the effed up things in the military. And now that I'm out, the point of this episode is that this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Those two things are very near and dear to my heart. And the whole reason why I'm doing this episode is because I want to push out there that, one, to get checked. Get your boobies checked. Okay? I almost lost my mother and I almost lost my grandmother to it because they didn't get checked. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is definitely one of those things, but again, get your boobies checked. It's okay. There are other resources too that if you don't have insurance or you're not sure where to go, please reach out. I am happy to give you the resources and to help you find somewhere that'll help you get them checked. But anyways, let's move on to the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I want to be able to tell my story. You know, I sat in silence for a long time. I briefly talked about it on Women with an Effed Up Mind. But yeah, I get what it means to not leave. I get it to not see the red flags. I know what it means to not have anywhere to go and not know what to do. So many people are so judgmental and be like, well, why didn't you just leave? Well, sometimes you don't even realize what's happening. It's not always just about the physical abuse. It's about the mental abuse. And you don't even realize sometimes it's even happening until you've already lost yourself. It's rough. It's rough to have somebody look at you and say nobody's ever going to love you again because of the stretch marks you have after giving birth. You don't know. Some people, you can't say that you know until you're laying in bed and you hear those footsteps and you have no idea what kind of day it's going to be. You have no idea, or you may do when I say these things, what it's like to even hear that door open and you don't know what your day's going to be like. Or when they wake up the next morning. And again, it's like, well, why didn't you leave? Stop fucking saying that. Stop. If there's one thing that you can do to be supportive, is to stop fucking saying,
well, why didn't you just leave?
Well, Karen or Billy Bob, whatever the fuck your name is, sometimes it's not an option. Sometimes people don't have the means to be able to do that. Some people don't have family to be able to do that. Or in my situation, don't have a supportive command to be able to help you get out of that situation.
Well, maybe you should have been saving money. Blah, 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 blah.
Again, have you ever been in that situation? When you go to judge somebody that is a victim of domestic violence, and again, it doesn't always have to be physical abuse, think for 2 seconds. 2 fucking seconds. Before you open your mouth, type that comment, say anything. Have you been in that situation? And if you have and you had the courage to leave right then and there, good for you. Not everybody's built the same. Back in 2021, my life took a drastic turn. And I started seeing signs before it got really bad. They mixed steroids and alcohol. They didn't know how to properly use steroids in the first place. But they mixed alcohol with it and got abusive. But it didn't start that way. It never was physical until it was. And, when I started seeing things and I needed help, nobody gave me resources. Nobody knew who to turn to or told me who to turn to. And it just, I don't know. That whole relationship changed my brain chemistry forever. And I like to say that I'm healed and I like to say that I'm over it. But I'm not completely over it. I'm not. There's still days that my PTSD kicks in. There's still days that it's just weird. It just hits you. And the same thing. There is no fucking time to heal. There is no set time frame like, oh, guess what? That was 2 years ago. That was 3 months ago. That was a month ago. Get the fuck over it. No, that's not a thing. Because how you handle something might be different than how I handle something, or how he handles something, or how she handles something, or the people, whatever you might identify as, that's how they handle that. I have seen so many people be so scared to talk about what happened to them in fear of judgment, fear of what people will think if they stay, or how they want to handle it. And, it's bullshit. It is absolute bullshit. And I'm speaking out of frustration because I've seen it. I've heard it. I've been told it. And I like to think that people can change because they can. I've seen it. Not everybody can change. And you can't always change the person. You can't lead a horse to water. Or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. But I've seen people change. I've seen people get sober. I've seen people go to therapy. I've seen people get better. And it's there. It can happen. I'm not saying if you're in a shitty, really, 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 really shitty situation to stay. But I want you to know that I'm here. I have resources. If you're military, I have resources out the ass. Out the ass. When it comes to helping get out of those situations. And that wasn't no thanks to my fucking command. It was because I did my research and finally started asking the right questions to other people outside of it. And finally found out and started educating myself and surrounding myself with people that actually wanted to help and could help. The military, I can start talking about my military service. Nothing beats coming into work after everything happened to you and getting screamed at, getting cussed at. Why do you look like shit? What the fuck's wrong with you? Or when I had to go find a new house, it's because I had my child. My child witnessed. Had CPS involved. Nobody gave a shit. Well, actually, I did the right thing. I told the people I was supposed to tell. One didn't care. One cussed me out for trying to go find a house when I got permission to from higher ups. He also got pissed off and screamed and cussed at me because I didn't want to go to him for stuff. Because when I did, it was like he wasn't helpful. I got treated like being in the Marine Corps. I get it in the military. You're supposed to be that hard ass. You're supposed to be tough. You're supposed to be some type of way. But that doesn't make you immune from being a fucking human. And that goes for any branch. Not just the Marine Corps, any branch. And if you've got a fucking Marine or service member that's coming to you and needing help, don't treat them like shit. It takes enough to actually come to you to say something. The fear of judgment. And your first instinct is to be a dick about it. That still sits with me. That still sits with me to this day, and it's been 4.5 years. Like, it's just, anyways. The point of this episode is to raise awareness that everybody goes through something. Some hide it better than others. You'd have no idea. I don't talk about these kind of things unless somehow it gets brought up. Maybe I should start advocating more. Maybe I should start speaking up more. Maybe I should start giving that platform more now that I have a platform again. I don't know. But I want you all to know that you're not alone. Never feel alone. If you feel lost or you need help finding resources, if I can't find the answer, I will find somebody that will. Think that it's one thing to start looking. And there's situations where you have to hide. You have to hide that looking things up. Because situations are so deep that there is no privacy. There is no getting away from it. And I hear you. I hear every single one of you, no matter what it is, physical or verbal, no matter what you identify as, because everybody goes through it. Not everybody. Domestic violence does not discriminate by gender or what you identify as is what I mean. And, the hardest part of the whole situation was seeing how much work, and I'm kind of jumping around because I wasn't expecting to just kind of just whatever. But to see somebody not being held accountable for what they're doing or what they did, and I wasn't the only one, was the hardest part for me. To get promotions, to live their best life, to whatever and some. I think that was the hardest part for me for the whole thing. But anyways. Yeah. But the whole point of this is I want you to know you're not alone at all. I am here every step of the way that you need somebody, military, non-military. I have such a unique audience that from my military life to my country dancing side to music side to just however you've met me. Never fear the judgment of not leaving. Never fear the judgment that there is nobody out there, because there are a lot of us out here. There are a lot of us. We just we don't wear it. We don't show it until it's needed. But if there's anything you take away from this episode, is people, stop fucking asking why you didn't leave. How about you start asking them, well, how can I help? Or what do you need? And that, I'm not saying give them money. I'm not saying them provide them a house. Maybe sit down with that fucking person and help them find resources in a safe place. Because sometimes people can't look up these things on their phone or their computer because they're being monitored, or phones get going, or they go through their stuff. There are so many different ways you can fucking help than being judgmental and being saying, why didn't you leave? Again, sit with them, find them resources. Make a Facebook post and say, hey, asking for a friend. Something. There's so many Facebook groups, support groups, everything. Even if you're not local to somewhere, we can find you somewhere to get help. Somebody to talk to. There's so many things out there. But just know, if you're in those situations or have been in those situations and struggling with starting the new chapter, and let me just tell you, it is scary to start over. It's very scary. But you can do it. And I believe in you. I believe in you in every step of the way. So just know you're not alone.